welcome everyone to the first RLI Experience Share. I would like to welcome, of course, District Governor Peter and Past District Governor Christina, and I believe I saw Past District Governor Bashar with us, and District Governor-elect May, who is, of course, the establisher of the RLI program for the past 4 years, 5 years, I think, maybe more, maybe less. And District Governor nominee Michelle is with us, and of course all the DDGs, AGs, presidents, past presidents, and so on. And I would like to I'd like to ask District Governor Peter to say a few words.
So yes, thank you, dear Faisal. So good evening, protocol observed as it was mentioned before, and dear friends, fellow Rotarians. Well, it's truly my pleasure to welcome you all tonight to this first session of our RLI Experience Share series. And I know that this is going to be one of the successes of our year, of what Faisal has started. And I'm really eager to see how it will evolve month by month, to give us the chance not only to learn, but also to get inspired by the way Rotarians across the world are putting the Rotary models into practice. Of course, I have to thank our distinguished speaker tonight, Past President Alexei Oduber, for joining us and sharing his experience. I am certain his story will encourage us all to think creatively, plan strategically, and act decisively in our own clubs and districts. So tonight we will have the opportunity to hear how the action plan, when applied with commitment and vision, can transform ideas into meaningful projects. Strategic planning is not just a concept, it is the framework that allows us to turn our passion for service into real and lasting impact. My thanks have to go to our Rotary Leadership Institute Chair, Faisal Juma, and of course our District Learning Facilitator, Past Governor Christina Kovotsu, for making this session possible, and of course all of you, dear Rotarians, for being here with us this evening for us, morning for others. Your presence is a reminder of the strength of our Rotary family and our shared commitment to unite for good. So with these few words, we start, and the word is back to Faisal.
Thank you very much, District Governor Peter. Now I'd like to ask the Learning Facilitator Chair, Past District Governor Christina, to give us the welcome remarks.
That was a good idea, Faisal. Thanks.
Thank you.
Right. So I was saying that if you think about it in whatever aspect of our life, knowledge is one of the most valuable components of success. Whether that is for our professional endeavors or our household duties, knowledge is the foundation, and combined with our personal skills, it can spell the success. From how you fry an egg, obviously you put it in a pan, but if you add a little oil or a little butter, it will taste better, and a little salt and a little pepper. So that's knowledge. The skill is to put together your knowledge into the pan and produce the result. Whether you're frying an egg or you are closing the greatest deal of your life, that's how success starts. In Rotary, Rotary offers us opportunities to develop our personalities through service, whether that is in the form of administrative duties or service to the community. Hand in hand, we achieve Rotary's vision and we succeed. Rotary knowledge comes from the experience amassed through our over a century-old existence, which is channeled and shared through the Learning Center and our own personal active life. RLI is a separate member-led initiative, normally aiming at practical application of Rotary knowledge and experience. So today, I believe that with our speaker, Alexei, who will delve into Rotary's action plan and its 4 priorities. For me, as an ex-action plan ambassador and an avid international facilitator, he will do this to one of my favorite subjects, almost like a Bible after the 4-way test. And I tend to treat it in the same way, very frequently asking myself, which of the 4 priorities of my action or our actions of our action plan, which of them, I messed my thoughts, which of the priorities of the action plan serve how my club will grow bigger and better and serve my district. So I think that it is best that we leave Alexei to attest to my passion, for which white of you are quite well aware of, and passing it on to DDG Faisal. And I think that this innovative approach to the RLI that you have taken, Faisal, will be most fruitful for us all. So I'm wishing you 2 great success.
Thank you very much for that, Pastor Governor Christina. So with that, I will go quickly over some etiquette. First thing I'll say is arrive on time, which everybody's done so far very well. If you can display your name, club, and country in the chat, it'll be very nice so we can track everyone, where you're from and which club you're attending from, and so on. Mute yourself when someone else is talking, which everybody's doing very well, thank you. Raise your hand if you'd like to speak. You have that virtual hand. If you talk for the first time, state your name and club. When talking, keep your camera on. You can switch it off when somebody else is talking. There are no bad questions or stupid ideas. Off topics will be parked. You can take notes. Mutual respect promotes creative thinking, and be kind to everyone. Oops, sorry for that. Ignore that. Oh dear, still there. Okay, ignore that. Without further ado, I shall introduce the speaker. If I can just find him so I can put him on spotlight, or can you do that for me? Oh, there he is. I think there's a way I can put spotlight for everyone so everybody can see him, and I'll put spotlight for myself. So we're both on screen at the same time. Okay, so with that, I shall start with the biography of past President Alexei, who has been a Rotarian since 1997 and is currently the district chair for the Rotary Foundation of District 4240. He has multiple Paul Harris Fellows and is a former president of the Rotary, is a former president of the Rotary Club of Panama, Nordeste. Is that correct?
No, Nordeste.
Nordeste. Past President Alexei Oduber is the managing director of GAC Panama Shipping, where he specializes in transit at the Panama Canal. He holds a bachelor degree of Science in Business Administration from the Citadel Military College of South Carolina, MBA from Nova University, completed an executive education program at the Wharton School for University of Pennsylvania. Avid athlete, he had completed an Ironman triathlon, 3.8 kilometer swim, 180 kilometer bike ride, 42 kilometer run, 6 times. He is married to Patricia and he has 2 children, Alexandria and Philippe. So with that, welcome. Thank you very much for accepting. I had to do a bit of investigation to find you. I found you the article in the Rotarian magazine, and with that, I found you through my Rotary. So I'm so happy to have you.
And then through LinkedIn, and then through chat.
Yeah, LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. It was a full-blown investigation. So I'm very happy that I found you eventually. So because I really think what the article wrote is exactly what I was looking for this particular session, was on strategic planning and the Rotary Action Plan in action. So if you can introduce our club, and how did you think of implementing the Rotary Action Plan?
Well, our club is Panama Northeast, Nordeste in Spanish. And we are 44 years old, our club is. We are 32 club members. And I think past district, Christina mentioned it very well, to move away from the practical into skills. I like that approach. And I think that's the way we did it without knowing what she was mentioning, because we didn't sit around to say, okay, how do we implement this? When we first received the plan, we saw that it gave great insight into how to tailor the programs that we were doing to have particularly better impact. We felt that we were doing some great projects. We were doing medical visits, we were doing some portable x-rays and a number of things, but we didn't feel that we had that depth. So the club members were thinking, where can we do more? Where can we do better? And in Panama, which is the thinnest part between the Americas, is a very small place. We're only 500 kilometers wide and 80 kilometers narrow. I don't even say wide because that's how narrow we are, where the Panama Canal is. The Pan American Highway goes from Alaska into Panama and it stops. And then it takes up again in Colombia, our next door neighbor. There's a gap called the Darien Gap. And this Darien Gap, it is a very difficult place. And it has not been a road for many, many years. And these people have had the hardest times. They are the furthest away from the government and everything. So we decided to reach out to some of the local water, there's water committees in these committees. So we reached out to one of them through a local church organization, and they gave us what they had. They showed us what they were organized and what they need. And we realized that we could have the impact, Faisal, that we're looking. When you focus on the basics, water, hygiene, electricity, and now internet, you're really making a change. You're truly game changing. So our club felt that's the way to go. Let's work with these people.
And then, so out of the Rotary Action Plan, so can you walk us through how you sort of implemented it?
Well, yeah, when we were doing the project, what we did is, just for everybody to know, we did a water project. And it's, ironically enough, these people are sitting in front of one of the second biggest river in Panama, but they don't have any drinking water. So they were drinking water from the river, just literally skimming it, not even filtering it. So we for 600 families, we installed water treatment plants with ultraviolet filters and with solar panels, of course. And then we also did the storage tanks. So we provided for the 600 families, but they were in 40 communities, because every one of these communities is very separate. So we decided that we're going to work with these people and measure the before and after. That's very important. When you look at it, Faisal, we looked at, and Rotary, not to sound like I'm a Rotary sales rep, but I like the ambassador, Christina, what she mentioned. It has, everything is written. Yeah. When you want to do a project in water, it tells you what to measure, how often to measure, and they give you the report. There's nothing else to do. All you got to do is take the report and fill it out. So we say, okay, we can measure how many people were having stomach issues and not going to school. So the kids, 70% of the kids were unable to go to school the full week because of stomach issues, diarrhea, vomiting, what have you. So we said, well, this is our first way to measure this. This is creating impact. And when I went there, when we delivered the product or finished the project, one of the schools came up to me and it says, we want to thank you for bringing us into the 20th century. I said, no, we're in the 21st. He goes, no, on the 20th. We're still not on the 21st, but we're on the 20th now. And we have a dance ready for you. So they share with us the facts that the kids were able to go to school. And a happy kid makes everybody happy, Faisal. So I think that when you find those triggers, which are common in every country, healthy kids is the root of happiness for everyone. So we said, this is the way to go. And then we realized that if we keep looking at it, and of course we can expand our reach to more communities, which we're working on now. And we said, well, since we already have the liaison that we want to work with, now we can do another project. Now we're thinking of putting solar panels. Well, solar panels only in the school. $50 for the Starlink subscription for the internet, I think it's $200 for the setup panel. And the school now has internet, electricity, so they can move a fan or put a TV. So that's what the teacher said, bringing it into the 20th century. So when you start reaching out into that, and the other thing that, and this is one part that I think you and I discussed earlier, Faisal, is how do you cater to all of our membership? We have everything. We have super active Rotarians. We have Rotarians that are, mobility issues. We have Rotarians that travel everywhere. So this project allowed people to have different areas where they could be support. For instance, we have a club member who's a great writer, but he never gets out of his suit. He's not going to the jungle. He said, look, I'm not going to the jungle. I'll write whatever. I said, great, you write the article. I'm a shipping guy. I don't know how to write.
Yeah. So basically you found, so with the Rotary Action Plan, now you implement in your project, and based on what it seems to be a great success. And so how was it difficult to get it going? Like, was it difficult to push this idea through the club, through your members? Did you find any?
No, the reason why it wasn't difficult was what we first did is we brought a small part of the community to the city. It's about a 300-kilometer drive. So we brought them to the city and they share with us how their day-to-day goes. Panama is a very Christian community, and we run for Christmas. And we had Christmas, we get them gifts. And the kids are like, I need to buy a shoe size 12. Say, well, you're 8. He goes, no, this is for the next 4 years, because I know I'm never going to have shoes again. So we saw, whoa, this is something we can work with. So when you bring something like that to your club, I think it moves like Governor Peters said, away from the plans into the impact. And that's it. You bring reality to your club members, and you realize that what you're complaining about, traffic, power, internet, what have you, it really is nothing compared to people like this. And you say, what? I'm going to go. And I do tell you though, Faisal, somebody has to pick up the slack and say, okay, this is mine. Somebody has to be the champion, and that champion has to be mentally prepared to do it alone, because it may be. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That happens. Yeah. Sometimes it gets too challenging, but someone has to see it through all the way. So when you do that, and then you have the last part, which I thought was one of the best parts, adapting. We have to adapt again to what's going on. Because in the past, we were doing other projects, and then now we realize that project is no good. Now we have different needs. The community I would have never thought 20 years ago when I started Rotary that solar panels was an idea. Now is the only way to bring internet to these kids. So it really makes sense, but you have to do it the other way around. You have to look at the project and see how the project goes into the plan, not the plan into the project. Because I think that's why I've seen, we were talking earlier on the district grants, people get caught up in the planning and don't execute. And I think that's where the problem is. We have to execute. And then in the process of executing, things will work out. And Rotary is very flexible in how your project adapts to their requirements. They have great experts in the district, in Evanston, and they're willing to listen and adapt your project. Look, this is wrong. You have to write these words down. Bring water to people. That's it.
Well, then I suppose you see the results. I mean, you based on the plan, it's easy to monitor and to reach the goals that you set up for yourself. So yes. I mean,
And then seeing the club members participate, Faisal, that's very important, because that may be a deterrent. Some clubs say, look, I don't want to have a project in which you'll be by myself. You got to be able to take it, but the rest of the club, you got to find them something to do.
That's good. So, I mean, with this, you found a way to involve almost everyone in your club. And you were saying that somebody was an office guy and you made him write the articles for you. And there was somebody who was an action guy, you put him in the field. So that's good in a way. So was there, from your working with the action plan, of course, we know there's 4 priorities. And was there one that you focused on the most? Or was there one that you would like to focus on that you thought that helped you?
I think, to be honest, the impact, I felt the increase in our impact was the driver. And I tend to think that we started from focusing on that and everything else sort of continue by itself on a natural progression. We focus on having a very impactful project, and the other things led to it. People were wanted to participate, and of course we expanded the reach of the project as we go into more communities, and then we adapted. So I think the increasing the impact for us was the most important one.
Right. So, of course, the achievements were very visible. And so what are the key takeaways then?
The key takeaways is, for me, you have to listen to the needs of the community. We were doing before, I don't want to say imposing, but I want to say proposing ideas. We go to a community and say, what do you think about a library? They go, well, yeah, I'll take the library, but I really need, something else. So we have to listen more, and we have to put our ears out there in their inner city project. It doesn't have to be in the jungle. It could be the inner city. It could be in the community. It could be, some of the projects have a bigger impact even in the community, in the cities. They don't have to go out jungle, but in the community, sometimes you find many ways that you can make a child successful. And you rescue one, that's all you need. You rescue one, and that's what happens. So my key takeaway is listen to the community, find a way to get everybody something to do, even if it is just the person that writes the article. Rolando, the guy who wrote the article, he says, man, I did such a wonderful job on that article. I said, yes, and he did. He did a great job on the article. And that's what he does. He's expert. And we had another guy who's a great guy at buying. So he did the purchasing and so forth. So it's everybody you can find ways. You'll be surprised. I think because of the classification principle, Rotary prepares our clubs to have the diversity of skills. It is not all dentists or lawyers or shipping or bankers. It's a variety of people. And then you're able to come through with it. So I think that if you don't plan too much, but you push hard to execute, I like that approach.
Of course, that makes it a habit now that you'll always find a way to implement it for other things, maybe for the future running of your club, succession planning, for instance, or leadership planning, I should say. So you have other uses for the action plan.
Exactly. And now we have a structure. Now we're looking at it for like club members. We're only 30. So some of the club members are aging and they're less active. So we got to look in replacement, but we got to replace them strategically. I need another club member who will do the writing. I need another club member who will do the buying. I need hopefully somebody else that goes to that end, not me, because it's a tough one to go all the way out there. So when you share that, but ironically enough, we have a site visit that we're doing now for the project, and we're doing another project now, and this is how it worked out. And by the way, Faisal, there's a question popping up there on the project. Somebody wanted to know on the UV, I can send you the project itself. So it has all the explanation, the cost and everything. It's a $600,000 project, and I will send everything with it, 160,000, excuse me. So I will send everything on the project for the club members who's asking. So when you're doing this strategic planning of who does and everything, and now, we went there and we went by since we were there, a 4-hour drive, you go visit this, let's look at this medical facility. So you go in there, there's a doctor with a metal desk. I said, welcome to the Meteti Medical District. I'm like, you have a desk. Where's your gurney? Where's everything? He goes, nope. So he started talking to us. So long story short, on that desk, everything happens. Babies are delivered, people are getting tourniquets, casts are being put on, everything. So now we're doing another global grant to bring them a portable x-ray. And this is where it's exciting when you adapt and relearn or unlearn. I would have never thought of a backpack x-ray. And I found it looking for it under veterinarian use for horses. And I said, well, maybe this works for man as well. And it works exactly the same for human. So it's a backpack, is 35,000 euro. And the doctor takes it with him, goes out 2 hours in the canoe to the community. There's a kid with apparently broken something, takes the x-ray, goes, no, you're fine. It's just a splint. You make it, or yes, it's broken. Let me take you with me. And they would have never been able to do that. That's impact. And that's only 35,000, of which we are partnering up with a club outside of Panama. So now those things expanding the reach just becomes natural.
I mean, that's interesting that you when you went to this clinic, it was just a desk in the middle of nowhere, and then from there, and you went to that X-ray, to portable X-ray, and then it shows. I mean, part of the Rotary Action Plan, the impact that this had. Like you know, that kid who had a splinter. You know, maybe there's minor things that could be easily solved that is missed out because nobody's going there and seeing this, and that's
and
the
if
big
you have
part,
if you have a broken leg, I don't think you want to get on a canoe for 4 hours, and you may
yeah.
have to get off the canoe and push it with a broken leg. That doesn't make any sense. So this is exciting, and things that are really impactful, like some of the communities have a lot of needs, and then of course you can go into urban needs as well. You have kids that have drug issues, gang issues. Those also can be solved the same way. It just depends on the community you are, but you got to put your ears open when you go out there. You're like fishing for projects, asking for like, so what is this done? So of course we could have painted the clinic and made it beautiful rotary wheel, very nice,
yeah.
and
But
that
it
costs
doesn't mean
about $300. Whereas instead of $300, we already gave them an incubator. So the kids, when they're born, they can stay there, be moved to another location so they can have better treatment. So it's just unlearning what we're doing before, Faisal. We have a habit of projects. And now we need to just step out and say, okay, you're looking around going, okay, where can we do good? And then you listen. Not say, you have to listen, which is hard for me because I don't like to listen, but I have people in my club that listen.
No, I mean, good. So I think we'll go for a last question.
Sure.
And then we'll open it up to the audience to ask you some questions. So what does the Rotary Action Plan mean for your club's future?
For me, it means a business-like approach to Rotary, which is good. I mean, it's exactly what you would do in your company. You mentioned it, succession planning, hiring, everything has to be done following the plan. And it's not a very complicated plan. I think that we tend to make it more complicated. Say, well, that's not really impact, that's more reach. Okay, fine, it's reach then. So let's move on. But if we focus and look at it as a business, we first have to look at continuity. As you know, at least I remember when I started in 1997, there were 1.2 million Rotarians. Today, there are 1.2, give or take, million Rotarians. We're doing something not well. I don't want to say we're doing it wrong, but something is happening that we're not able to grow. True, we have very good projects and we're making a difference, but we need to have more arms that help us out. So that should be part of it. How can I make more people, younger people, sure, but how about 30s and 40s? Maybe in your countries, that group is already financially stable that can set aside a little bit of time and be able to provide meetings like this. Not everybody has that flexibility, sure. A young person going into work may not, but maybe they can attend the meetings in the evening or breakfast meetings. But we have to really go out of our way. And now the fact that we're doing this, Faisal, the fact that we met is amazing. And the fact that I have the privilege of sharing what we did and hopefully be able to continue growing with you all is incredible. And we can continue to use it and look at it as a positive tool. So for me, it's like a blueprint of how we run the clubs as a business.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Now, I shall open the floor for questions from the audience. I think the best thing is to remove the spotlight from my screen and maybe remove it from Alexei's screen so we can try and, okay, I lost track of how to remove the, oh dear. Oh, there it is. Remove, okay, it's done. Okay, so I'll moderate this if everyone doesn't mind. The first question is from Dr. Dhafar from Bahrain, from my club, Rotary Club Salmania.
Yes, it's my pleasure to be in your club.
Please go ahead, Doctor.
Okay. Thank you, Alexei, for a long explanation, and it's educating. Thank you very much. I just want to mention something about because we're talking about planning, strategic planning, if you want to call it. But I just want to, what I want to say, one cannot do it by himself. It has to be done through a teamwork. There are some presidents who decide to do it by themselves. It's a one-man shot, and it is not the way to create a plan, because the plan should involve everybody, like you have mentioned a while ago in your club. You need to make sure that everybody has a stake in whatever project you come up with, or whatever you really you want to do, because but the most important thing, I feel, that you need to start with brainstorming your group of how do we get started, what do we want, what is going on in our community, what does our community needs urgently, what can we afford helping them, and what we cannot afford. There are a lot of questions, because I believe that the plan is for every member in the club. It is fair to everybody to know what the board of directors or the president with the board are doing in their club. This will automatically come towards building a plan that will work, and not a plan that will work for a while, temporary, and then it will break down because there will be resistance from the club members who were not involved from the beginning. And this is also what I feel, that it reflects on the image of the club. It will give a good image, and that it will encourage, as you have mentioned, there is not an increase in the number of members. This will give a good reflection about the club, and will allow people who are not involved in the club to get excited about the club, and maybe come and join few lunches or few dinners or whatever, and then at the end of the line maybe will volunteer to join in. This is, I feel it's a good start. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Dhafar.
Thank you, Faisal. Thank you, Faisal.
Thank you. Now we have a question from Marina.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be part of this session. I'm from Uganda, and I follow the Rotary, is it 2452 on Instagram? So that's how I got to know about this session. So I'm happy to be a part of this because I was just recently appointed as the project leader for the club, and that was like in the last week of August. So, as you know, the Rotary year begins in July. So already I have to fit in the club plans, the work plan, and the whole, the whole budget of the projects and all. The threat that I'm seeing as a club is the, access to these resources, because the speaker talked about, is it his recent plan of having a Christmas giveaway, something like that. I also have the same idea, but as a projects chair, how do I manage these projects, given that it's a young club and, projects need money, and I'm approaching companies regarding corporate sponsorship, but I just have to be a bit positive about it, because I know most companies already have a budget for their activities. So I know it's a bit late to approach them, but which other sourcing methods for funds do you think I can put across as a plan B as I approach these corporate sponsors? Yes, so it will add to the CSR, but I know that it's already September. So how do I approach this from the projects leader of the club, so that I see that at the end of June next year, I see that at least I've achieved something. I don't want to use the excuse of I was appointed late as an excuse. So what would you say about
Great.
it?
I think that's a great idea, and I see that, and I have a solution for you. We do a spelling bee contest as well in our club, which I started 3 years ago, and the sponsorship of the spelling bee contest is done by some of the vendors of the club members. For instance, one of the club members is in the technology business. He sells computers and everything, and he reaches out to Lenovo, and they give him what it normally costs us $100 tablet. They give it to him for free because he buys millions of dollars from them a year. So you don't have to ask for money. You can ask for donations in kind, and people will be happy to share with you either their time or their effort. And the spelling bee is a great contest, Marina. The spelling bee doesn't cost anything. You go to the school, you tell them, look, I'll be back in 6 weeks. We're going to have 3 board members or 3 juries, and they're going to be counting, and they're going to be spelling, and the rules are available online. If not, I can send you the ones that we use for the, I think, San Antonio district in Texas, which are very good. And everybody gets involved. Again, the involvement. Then you get the teacher involved, because the teachers normally don't have enough activity for the kids because their funds are restricted. So you say, look, I'm going to have a spelling bee, and you give me your 20 students, and you do the competition amongst them. Some of the club members can donate from their vendors. It doesn't have to be from them. I work in shipping, and we have several towboats that move the ships providers. And I say, I need you to sponsor each. So each gave me $200. So we have, with that, they go to the place. So now we have our club members, who of course they have to go because we have people from the outside coming. So the company gets excited because they're doing something for the community, and the school wins. They got 2 groups looking at them, and that won't cost you anything. How does that sound?
Nice idea. Thank you.
And the second part on the projects, I would recommend that you have like a menu of projects, like little projects, quick projects, interesting projects, big projects. And don't start with the big one, because it's like running a marathon. You can't wake up tomorrow and run the marathon. You have to train for a 5-kilometer race, then for the 10-kilometer race, then for the 15-kilometer race. And every time you use the principles, you looking at the impact. Okay, now these kids are valued because they are told they're important. So check. Expanding your reach, going to more communities. Every one of those kids, you will be, Marina, prepare yourself to cry. I tell you that. Because the kids, when they win, they go back and say, okay, normally their parents pick them up at school. They go, no, don't tell my mom. I want to see her face when I give her this tablet so we can use it at home together. I started crying. And then you start engaging, everybody becomes part of it. So those kind of competitions or projects are very good, very simple, and everyone would benefit from that.
Thank you very much. And it's I'm very happy to see that somebody from Uganda is attending our district session. So thank you very much for your attendance. Right, so I don't see any other hands raised. So I can suppose I can, nobody else would like to ask a question?
And if something comes up later, you can go by email.
Yes. And you said, yes, Shafkat?
Hi, I had asked a question from you and from Alexei. I would recap it. Alexei, I was very interested in hearing about your water project. We are using the river water to purify. I would like some details, because this is something which can be replicated elsewhere. You did mention you'll send it to Faisal, so I will need much more details. What equipment is needed? How is it connected? You said there will be some storage that you will do, because I'm thinking there are many countries where this can be done, and we'll have to find a cheaper way of doing it. $160 may not be available in several countries, but it can be done at a lower scale, and we'll just then scale it up. So I will really appreciate, rather than just giving us a summary, give us details. I already sent you directly my email address and to Faisal. So please, I look forward to receiving it. Thank you very much. And my name is Shafkat Ali Mehman. I'm from Rotary Club of Panama. Thank you.
Which is in Bahrain. Okay.
Okay.
So with that, I don't believe. Yes, Mr. Governor Peter, please go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to thank Alexei, and it was so lovely. Through one or two projects that he mentioned, you can realize how you can implement the action plan of Rotary, the steps. So this is the beauty, like you can see a project, and in this project that he was mentioning, you could see all the steps. And this is basically how we should think, our mindsets, how it should work. And it's just a thank you from me from putting the action plan in an implemented project.
Good. Tafar has another question. Please go
Faisal,
ahead.
I just have a comment, Faisal,
Please.
if I may, before we close. I just want to, to pass to Alexei, and I like to have his feedback that it's not important that we have a plan or a strategic plan. I feel it's important to involve every single member in the club. If the members in the club are not involved, forget about the plan. The plan to me means nothing. I feel that every single member in the club has a say in their club. And then if they feel they are committed, they will feel they're committed to their club, and the club will prosper and it will grow and grow. That's only my comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And of course, I think, as you mentioned, plan is only one part of it, and then it's also the activity or the engagement of the members. That's the other part. And of course, there's many parts in between. Okay, so I don't see any other questions, nothing in the chat to my knowledge, and I don't see anyone else's hands are raised. So with that, I will present you with a virtual certificate. So thank you very much for your for giving us your time and your knowledge and experience. So this is your virtual certificate. I managed to get District Governor's Peter virtual signature somehow, and I will send this across to you by email in some time shortly. So
Thank you. It really has been my pleasure too. I mean, from the beginning, when you first reached out to this, I knew it was going to be different, but I didn't know it was going to be this different and this exciting. You know, it's gotten my club members are texting me on the other side. You know, okay, we'll be there tonight. I said, again, I told you it's not tonight. It is there tonight or today. You know, because that's the guy who writes the articles. That's all he does is writing articles.
I hope they were able to attend.
Yeah, some of them tell me they're logged in. So.
Okay, good. So I'm very happy. You know, this is the first time we do this in our district. So, you know, I appreciate your patience because this is a new concept. And I appreciate Alexei for being the first person to pilot this particular session. And of course, District Governor Peter for allowing me to pursue this sort of session. So I think with that, we can close. We're closed 10 minutes earlier than scheduled, but I think that's fine. We had engaging conversations, a wonderful round of questions, and I think we got the experience we wanted to implement our own Rotary action plans in the future. So next month, October, the moderator, of course, I'll be involved in the session, but the moderator will be past President Fareed Masharbash, we will discuss the topics of service projects. So this is what we're going for. And we're trying to get an exciting speaker from the Rotary International. We're just waiting for him to confirm. And once that's all arranged with the dates, we will share all of the information to you, to everyone.